ready? Oh yeah, baby, come on, let's do this, let's go!
Guys, I'm the East Coaster fan, and today I'm here with my top 10 roller coasters of early 2017. Now, this is going to be my favorite coasters before I go to more amusement parks this summer. So, let's get on with the list, shall we? Now, at the number 10 spot is Thunderbolt at Luna Park, New York. I last rode this in Memorial Day of 2016. Now, since this is made by Zamperla, it does have a bit of a rattle during the first vertical drop. But other than that, I think this ride's pretty cool. It's really skinny, so it doesn't really take up that land. It goes from the boardwalk all the way to the street. But what I really love about this ride is the amount of airtime. There are these two camelback hills right after this element you're seeing on the screen. They're full of crazy ejector airtime. It's unbelievable. In my opinion, it's the best ride at Coney Island. It's better than the Cyclone. It's better than the Steeplechase. Definitely better than Soaring Eagle. It's short. It's a short ride, but it really does pack a punch. At the number 9 spot, we have Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, the only time I've ever ridden this was during Fright Fest, so I rode this at night. However, with that in mind, I still think this ride is really great. It's one of the best at Six Flags Great Adventure. It's pretty tall, pretty fast, and pretty smooth. The only problems that I have with it are, it's ugly colors. I just hate the pink. If they paint that over with, yellow, I think that would make it so much better. But that's just a nitpick of mine. And this ride's kind of in a bad spot, in my opinion. What I'm talking about is, like, you have to walk past Skull Mountain and past the kiddie area to find the entrance of this ride, but it's like a dead end, and it's kind of dated, in my opinion. Like, they're playing techno music, but it kind of feels old. But I still think this is a really good ride. Now, at my number 8 spot, I have Talon at Dorney Park. Now, I haven't rode this ride in a while, but I still really like this ride. Ever since I've ridden it, I've thought this is my favorite invert I've ever ridden. It's definitely the best ride at Dorney Park. However, that's not really saying that much. But what I really love about this ride is the layout. I think it has one of the best layouts of a B&M invert I've ever seen. It has your generic loop, Immelman, zero-G roll, but it has this really cool 90-degree turn towards the front of the park, where you feel like your feet are going to touch a gate. It's actually really cool. I think the landscaping of this ride is really great. You could see this coaster from anywhere in the park. I'm talking like when you're entering the park, this is the major icon. This is the silver bullet of this park, basically. And you can also see this coaster anywhere from Wild Water Kingdom. It's similar to that in, like, Fahrenheit, where you can see that, like, when you're in the wave pool. Another thing about this ride is the lift tail signs. I've never seen this on any other coaster, but when you're going up the lift tail, look down and there are signs trying to intimidate you and trying to scare you, which I've never seen on any coaster before, which I find really cool. At the number 7 spot, I put Bizarro at Six Flags Great Adventure. I last rode this during Fright Fest, but I've also ridden this during the day, and I just love this ride. It has the most inversions out of any ride at Six Flags Great Adventure. It has in my opinion, the perfect color scheme of any ride at the park. If it's working, the fire is fantastic. Also, the smoke effect during the double corkscrew, but I think the fire steals the show. Even though the fire is pretty far away from the track, you still feel the heat. Now, I didn't ride this when it was Medusa, but I still really like this ride as it is, and I think Six Flags did a great job of keeping this ride pretty well. One last thing is that since it's towards the back of the park, like behind El Toro in a way, this ride really never has a line. It's like the most impressive. It's one of the most impressive coasters at the park, but it has one of the shortest waiting times in the park. My only problem with this is because of its age, it has a B&M rattle, but I don't really try and judge the B&M rattle. I just try to enjoy the ride. And there is stacking, but once again, I just overlook it. I think this is just a really great ride overall. The number 6 spot, we have Lightning Racer at Hershey Park. I last rode this in August of 2016, and I still think this is one of my favorite GCIs and favorite wooden coaster overall. Now, again, this might change this summer, but I really like this coaster. I love how it duels. In my opinion, I think they're both the same. Thunder is just as good as Lightning. It never has a line because it's towards the back of the park, and this ride has pretty good capacity. I think only once, really, I've seen it run with only one train. But again, it's only one train on each of the tracks. So really on a normal day, it's more like 4. So that's great. And it's really smooth for what it is. Now, the only problem with this, and you'll know this problem if you've been to Hershey Park, this is on the total opposite side of the entrance, and it's a dead end. Also, it's literally right next to the water park, so it's an okay spot, I guess. They could have done better, honestly, with the spot, but I don't judge the roller coaster by that. Overall, I think it's a really good ride. At number 5 spot, I've put Griffin at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. The last time I rode this was around August of 2015, and I really liked this roller coaster. When I first rode this, I thought it was one of my favorite roller coasters of all time. I love how it hangs you there. I love the going under the bridge, which Sheikah doesn't have. Color scheme's okay. I kind of like Sheikah's better, but I do like the 2 inversions, especially the one like right next to Loch Ness Monster, because it's a lot bigger than it actually seems. But the first drop is really cool too. The splashdown's really cool. I always see people always getting wet from the splashdown. And when you're on the ride, you actually get a little bit of mist because it goes over it again, which Sheikah doesn't. So on a hot day, it's actually pretty nice. And this ride never has a line because it is Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So this ride really normally has a 15-minute line on a normal day, maybe half an hour on a crowded day. Last thing is, this has 2 surprising airtime hills. I didn't know that when I first wrote it, but there's one right before the splashdown and one right before the brake run, and you can kind of see it in the picture on the screen. But that's Griffin. Now, at number 4, I've put Manta. This coaster is at SeaWorld Orlando, and I rode this in the summer. Now, some people like Mako better than this ride, but I actually like this ride better. I found it really cool. Maybe I'll have different opinion when I ride it, because I only rode Mako once, and I rode this twice. But anyway, I think this has a great color scheme. It's similar to Griffin, but it's fine. Great theming. More in the queue than on the ride, but still really great. When you're in the queue, there's it's pretty dark, and there's like aquarium theming all over. And because it has the dual station, pretty good capacity. But when people associate this ride, they think of the water, which is on the screen, where it flies right by the water, and they have this, and SeaWorld has this cool thing where they shoot water up, and if you're in the back row on the right side, you might get a little wet. They also have this really cool near miss element that passes right by a waterfall and some stones, where the person on the left feels in danger of getting wet. But I really like this ride. This is my favorite flying coaster. I like it better than Superman Ultimate Flight. But yeah, that's Manta. Coming in at number 3 is Storm Runner at Hershey Park. Now, I rode this during the summer, and I fell in love with this coaster. I rode it at night, I rode it during the day, front row, back row, middle. You get the point. Now, this is going to go the same with the rest of the coasters on this list, but the drop on this ride is bigger than the actual height, and that's because of the terrain of this park. Overall, I think this ride's great. It has a pretty powerful launch. I think people are more scared of watching the launch than actually going on it. It has a really good color scheme, very rapid and quick, especially at the end where it goes under the monorail and up. The announcer for the launch, in my opinion, is the best. I find it a lot better than the one for California Screamin'. But the only problem with this is it's over really quickly. But I still think it's great. I've only ridden this when it got the new restraints, new soft ones. So I don't know what it was like for when it had hard restraints. But in my opinion, I still think it's a great ride. At the number 2, I put Apollo's Chariot at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Even though I rode this a while ago, still, I think this is my favorite coaster at Busch Gardens and my favorite B&M Hyper. Again, it has a bigger drop than the actual height, which I think is really cool. It's pretty hidden in the park, honestly. Like when it's low to the ground, the second half of the ride anyway, where the most you could see of this ride is actually on the Roman Rapids. This has the best floater airtime on any of the B&M Hypers I've been on. But this is the roller coaster people see when entering Busch Gardens. and I think it's a great coaster to introduce them to the park. Overall, I think this is one of the best hypers ever created. So, this was my favorite roller coaster for the longest time. That is until I made the pilgrimage to Pittsburgh to ride my new number one. With saying that, my new number one coaster is Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Now, this ride is unbelievable. The drop is insanely high. The second drop is even higher. It doesn't go upside down anymore like it did, but I don't care. The airtime makes up for it. The airtime on this ride is crazy. You're just going out of your seat. It's airtime hill after airtime hill. It has a cool entrance sign. But another cool thing about this ride is it's in smack dab middle of the park. So you could get really up close to this ride. And because it's in Pittsburgh, it uses the terrain for its advantage. And that's how the second drop's bigger than the first. Overall, I think this ride's crazy. It is my number one coaster, but that might change in the future. Overall, these are my top 10 roller coasters of early 2017. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.